Hi, my name is Rick Goldberg. I think you'll enjoy this video about horns from a religious and evolutionary perspective. Horns, antlers, and tusks are grown on the heads of certain animals. Although horns may be used as a tool to dig or to defend from predator attack, they generally function as secondary sexual characteristics to attract mates and deter rivals. The evidence shows that humans have been intrigued by horn species since prehistory. This video discusses our curious fascination with horns and our eagerness to use them, or their likeness, to decorate our heads. Animal signaling theory will be used to explain why human populations feature horns or pseudo-horns to display social prominence. Horns generally grow in pairs and signal targeted conspecifics and predators, both symmetrical quality and direction of gaze. Being the target of a fixed gaze is important information for a rival, a potential mate, or a predator. As the male animal ages, its horns become more curved, elongated, and heavier, a process that makes horns more cumbersome and less useful as fighting weapons. Females are attracted to males with elaborate, unwieldy horns because they display the high quality of males that can thrive despite the handicap of weighty horns. Females look for males that are stronger overall, not males that can fight better. In addition to using animal horns as implements, humans wore horns to display high rank. The stone tablet on the left illustrates the slaying by Gilgamesh of the horned bull of heaven. On the right is the horned Hindu god Proto-Siva. High-ranking men wore head coverings scalped from prey animals. An example is this Native American chief with his ceremonial head covering taken from a bison. On the right is a totemic figure from the Pacific Northwest tribes. Elaborately horned headpieces were distinguishing marks of ancient Egyptian gods. This is Alexander the Great, known as the Two-Horned, a term of great distinction. The epic poem Beowulf refers to Norse warriors with horned helmets. In the Americas, pre-Columbian gods were sculpted with horns. In Africa, ritual masks with horns have been used for many centuries. The drama of the Spanish corrida may be attributed to the bull's menacing horns. The Romans granted horned helmets and headdresses to gods and warriors. On this pendant, Jupiter is pictured with ram's horns on the sides of his head. The Roman priests of Mars wore a spike called apex. The priests took great care to keep their caps from falling, an event that would lower the horn of their office. From the Middle Ages onward, stylish feathers as pseudo-horns became popular for aristocrats and officers. Members of religious hierarchies may wear horn-like hats, like these mitres worn by 17th century bishops and popes. Although golden and bejeweled, the crowns of monarchs are descendants of the horned headwear worn by the earliest potentates. During the Middle Ages, the honor associated with wearing horns was reconceived in Europe as associated with evil. Horned demigods like the child-eating Minotaur, the panic-inducing Pan, and the loathsome Satyr struck fear as sexual predators. Horned creatures had become emblematic of the feared and despised. Artistic images of horned men and imaginary creatures took on ominous appearances. Mythic demons and men were made bestial by depicting them as with horns on their heads. This dehumanized portrayal was not done to diminish the power of these creatures. Rather, it represented in popular culture their fearsome virility. A variety of horned devils and gargoyles became fixtures in the public imagination. Signifying bestiality, horns were used to degrade the prestige of the powerful, as in this woodcut of a pope. Here the Lutheran Church is denigrated by depicting its pastor making a pact with a buffoon and the devil. A 19th century drawing displays two of the horned denizens of hell. And in the 13th century, hell was full of horned hellions who inflicted pain on sinners. Here, the dreaded Antichrist is equipped with alarming red horns. Evil spirits with horns are iconic in the ritual masks of many cultures. The horned Moses, once a figure of the highest respect, was now displayed as evidence the Israelites were in league with the devil. In the cities of Western Europe, Jews were required to wear distinct, spiked hats to display their denigrated status. Here, the caricatured victim in the Middle Ages is forced to wear a pointed cap to distinguish himself as a Jew. In the Spanish province of Galicia, the Inquisition required condemned Jews to wear a conical hat called coroza as a sign of disgrace. The Jewish Sabbath celebration is depicted as the demonic witches' Sabbath. Well into the 20th century, rural folk throughout Europe who had never seen a Jew were convinced that all congenitally grew horns, and were later astonished when that turned out not to be true. As a TV icon, it is surprising that a brainy Jewish space explorer had pointed ears as a vestige of his ancestors' horns. A fascinating case of horns used to degrade is the practice of horning the cuckold. A husband becomes known as a cuckold and is horned when another man secretly has relations with and impregnates his wife, allowing her to deceive the husband into raising the child as his own. To call a man cornuto in Italy or cornudo in Spain is considered the worst of insults. As Elworthy writes, so completely has the notion of marital disgrace, implied by the wearing of horns, supplanted the old one of chivalry and honor, that to imply someone wears horns is considered the deepest insult one man can offer to another. To state the matter using Darwinian terminology, the humiliating power of the cuckold sign comes from the fear of mate poaching by opportunistic males and the husband's uncertain paternity that may result. During the Middle Ages, men were advised to mate guard their wives lest they be made a cuckold. In this painting, an interloper draws horns on the husband's portrait after enjoying his wife's company. Looking at other examples of pseudo-horns that lower status, Pilate mocked Jesus as King of the Jews by forcing him to wear a crown of thorns. A public figure can be denigrated by drawing horns on his head. A big hat and pointed ears are dopey, and a tall pointy hat turns Bart into a dunce. Jesters made kings laugh with sagging, impotent-looking pseudo-horns. According to costly signaling theory, biological signals are taken as reliable only if they are costly to produce. Choosy women evaluate the comparative reproductive value of men in the process of selecting sexual partners. As part of this process, reliable index signals give women helpful information on the overall quality of male prospects that aid female evaluation. A mechanism for communicating index quality, body size, and strength is called a signal amplifier. Although not themselves signals, amplifiers can play a significant role in sexual selection. Pseudo-horns can be seen as a type of signal amplifier because headgear can amplify the prominence of the wearer. Another example of signal amplification is the controller on a music system. Although the amplifier itself produces no sound, when music is playing, the listener hears the music better when the amplifier's controls are properly adjusted. Amplifiers thereby benefit individuals of high quality by improving signal projection and perception. In sexual selection, amplifying the display of male quality can influence female choice if the female appreciates the amplified information relating to the signaler's quality. Since time immemorial, human males have displayed prominence by putting horns or pseudo-horns on their heads. I'm suggesting that human mimicking of animals by conspicuously displaying horns and pseudo-horns can be explained in biological terms. Headgear can embellish the communicated value of high-quality males or denigrate that of lesser-quality males. Human heads wearing horns, hats, helmets, and feathers has cross-culturally been a feature of human sexual selection. Thanks so much for watching this video.